My supreme namaskarams to all of you. I am Mr. Nerala Malyadri and practicing as an advocate of Honorable Supreme Court and High Courts of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana after my voluntary retirement as a district judge. Today I am interested to speak on two important aspects and facets of law. One is a judge is condemned when guilty is acquitted. The other is judges and unjust laws. There is some correlation in between both these issues. When you deal with the principle that a judge is condemned when guilty is acquitted, we have to understand the very important principle, judex damnator cum nocens absolvitor. So this principle, if you look into the famous cases in India, by understanding the various provisions of law in criminal side, you will find, especially in the recent decision of Honorable Supreme Court, where several decisions are discussed in terms of the principles of and philosophy of law. This is a decision of Boya Kajje Pedda Ambarazu and 9 others versus State of AP and others, decided by Honorable High Court of AP on 21/5/2020. In this decision, there is a reference or discussion about the famous cases of Honorable Supreme Court decided AR 1979 SC 339. Another decision is AR 1983 SC 288. Another decision is 2007 6 scale 555. 2014 3 SCC 92. In this case, the Honorable High Court has found that a person not named in the FIR or a person though named in the FIR has not been charge sheeted, or a person who has been discharged can be summoned under section 319 CRPC, provided from the evidence it appears that such person can be tried along with the accused facing trial. This is purely a discretion given to the presiding officer, who has to appreciate and understand the principles of law in the light of the evidence available and consider and find that a person is really committed an offense, but because he is not accused in this case, he will be scot-free. So when this discussion is there, as we all know, that has to be exercised basing on sound principles of law. What are the sound principles of law? One is that you must act honestly, fairly, without doing any injustice to any person connected, especially the accused in this case and victims in that case, and the person who is going to be summoned. The rights of all parties and the liabilities of all of them have to be looked into. Then thereafter, there is no decision till today which says that if the judge doesn't want to exercise the discretion, rather issue summons under section 319 CRPs to any of the person who is not arraigned as an accused, whether named in the FIR or not named in the FIR, and whether he is discharged after charge sheet is filed and cognizance is taken or not. An order has to be given by the court separately stating that the court doesn't want to take any action against that person by issuing summons. On the other hand, contra, whenever the court finds that there is evidence appearing that that person has to be tried along with the other accused facing the trial, then at any stage that person can be summoned, provided evidence is available against that person. Evidence means the evidence already recorded which is available on record. If any evidence is there before taking cognizance, at that time cognizance could have been taken. Once cognizance is not taken, then thereafter, if some evidence comes, court can take cognizance and issue summons under section 319 CRPC. When it is issuing summons, it has to write an order stating that I am issuing summons because of these reasons. Otherwise, there is no need to give any reasons. But unfortunately, many of them, they are under a feeling that exercise of discretion means that order has to be passed at some stage or other stating that there is no evidence against the person whose name is referred in the FIR and who is not being charge sheeted. I am not arraying him as an accused and issuing summons to him. That is not the course. Negative side is not that course. Unless and until you find that there is some evidence, the question of issuing summons doesn't arise. If any judge has not issued summons, even though there is no evidence available, then the parties can move the court by filing a petition to issue summons. But they can't say that evidence is available and discretion is not exercised. So the judge is not doing it correctly, is not doing his duty, not discharging his duty correctly, because he has not passed any orders. So this is one aspect. Then the other aspect is a powerful conceptual and moral case is there for a proposition that judges on common law grounds should refuse to enforce unjust legislation. It is a controversial issue. There is law that is unjust legislation. The judge's activism requires for conducting constitutional judicial review, but not simply observing that it is unjust legislation. Then what is required is, while doing that exercise of power of judicial review in the common law tradition, the constitutional history, legal theory and law analysis clearly shows, in the light of the political philosophy, that the court has to have judicial review over the entire facts and circumstances and the canons of law and find that the law is unjust. There is a legal and official duty and moral responsibility between the both, and then discharge his duties correctly, holding that it is unjust law, and if he finds that it is unconstitutional, then hold it as unconstitutional. So the judges have got power to exercise this discretion. This discretion has to be discharged by exercising it with all due duty. Thank you. Subscribe.